Hey guys, welcome to Manchester Lane Radio, the official podcast of the Shaw Store in 11 Manchester Lane, Melbourne City. Currently, don't go there. It's illegal.
Do not go there, girl. Don't do it.
But I've got to tell you, as we introduce today's guest, first thing I heard, lockdown. First thing I thought, well, my store's financially crippled yet again. Second thing I thought, hey, Maso is probably going to be available to do the podcast now. And here he is. Here he is from the Weekly Planet podcast and also a Melbourne tram driver, Nicholas Mason. How you doing, Nick?
I'm very well. It's good to have three Melbourne icons all together in the one room. We got myself. We got you, we got the Shaw Store, we got the concept of trams themselves. It's great to be here, Steele.
Dude, let's not forget that beard.
Thank you. That's I can barely get it into the shot. Hang on. There we go.
That is stunning. It does look like you're giving evidence in a trial.
Yeah, it does. Well, I tried to pick the place with the best Wi-Fi in my apartment, but it's the place that
courthouse.
Yes, there's nothing back here, so I look like a serial killer. Like it just there's nothing. I'm like, should I put a poster up or like a row of Funko Pops or something? But there was no time, so I'm just here in a. I look like a closet person, but this is.
How dare you go on the internet without a Funko Pop behind you? I don't think I've actually got I've got many things. But no Funko Pops, unfortunately.
Well, initially, actually, Steele, I thought this was going to be on. This is on a new super high tech streaming platform for people who don't know. But initially, I thought this was going to be on Zoom, so I set up a Zoom background of Manchester Lane, and I'm just going to do a bit where I'm like, oh, Steele, you're going to get to the store. It's a little chilly out here, man. Anytime, whenever you're ready.
I love it. A live cross.
Yeah, I was, but it's all right. We can all just imagine that. I mean, we've got the background here. Is that how old is this photo in the back? Is this like the current store as it currently stands?
It's probably from, and for those listening to the podcast, we're talking about the background of the YouTube video. It's probably from about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I dare say when that photo was taken, the thought of wearing a mask would have been quite foreign. Or maybe it might have been in, hey, maybe we'll have to wear masks. Maybe it was in that era.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's how I define my life now, in urgency to mask wear.
Yeah, we were having such a great time until about a week ago. And then we're back into it. This is actually kind of a treat because I get to talk to another human being, but I don't have a mask on, which is really nice.
Don't cover up. That beautiful that mouth.
It's kind of, I don't know how other bearded mask wearers feel, but I look like kind of a prehistoric bird when I have the mask on because it looks like I've got kind of a beak situation, but then I've got this frill at the bottom here. I look ridiculous. I mean, I look ridiculous anyway, but here we are.
No. You and I'm not going to say a bad word about you or any members of the Kelly gang. Okay.
Thank you.
It's all good.
Thank you.
But for those on the video, it's my face. I've got this very, like, it looks like I've been pummeled, but I actually just fell over running. And due to you're doing this on your phone, it wasn't like 10K enough for you to see my eyeball.
Yeah.
So you didn't give me any of the sympathy that I was hoping for.
You even said, how's my face? And I'm like, I mean, good. You've got a good face still. It's good, you know. I would pivot to video all the time, you know. You're not just a podcast guy, you're a video guy. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, no, that's actually quite severe.
Thank you. Yeah. That's all I wanted, dude.
Yeah. It's wow, yeah. How's are you fully insured in America?
I am, and it's quite costly.
Yeah, I bet.
So anytime something happens, it's like, oh yeah, getting my money's worth. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess we don't appreciate it as much here. You know, we just rock in for a sickie any day we feel like it in Australia. We're just like, oh, I better waste the doctor's time and get a day off.
I definitely don't think anyone's rocking in for a sickie in America.
Americans, you're missing out. You should try it sometime.
I just with like a sickie in the Australian language. The first time I was here, I was 23. I'm stuck in LA, by the way. So
I mean, stuck is one word you could use, but it's like you're not wearing a cardigan indoors, so
No, but
life seems all right over there. Yeah.
I also can't return to the country, so
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so I am stuck. Trust
Swings
me.
and roundabouts, yes.
Unless I want to, people doing these 2 weeks in the hotel, like it's one thing to do like 1 or 2 weeks in your house amongst your stuff and room.
Yeah,
in a hotel room. It's like, so I'm stuck basically.
Yes.
Because I don't think I would make it through the 2 weeks quite. It would be, remember when Apu in The Simpsons had to do that really long shift and he was like a bumblebee?
Yes,
Yeah, I think I'd be more like a headless cockroach or something.
Terrific, wow.
So, why not? Yeah. Hey, so for those, the uninitiated, Weekly Planet podcast is, people have successful podcasts. But you guys have the ones where it's like, oh no, it's actually proper success. It's actually a living. But because I meet people around the world, and my friend the other day, Randy, we're talking about podcasts, and he was like, oh, I listened to this one in Australia, Weekly Planet. They just talk about comic book, and it's just like, and I'm like, oh, mate, come on. I'm all over. and I had to do that thing where, when people think you're from the same country, so you must all know each other.
Yeah, right. Except you do in this case, yeah.
Yeah. Well, in most cases, I find, because...
Yeah, well.
But it is one of the big ones. And I've told this story on I Love Green Dog Letters before. But for our new listeners, I was going through the podcast listings and I was like basically getting annoyed at these little icons, badges of success in the top 10. And I'm like, this Weekly Planet one, it's always in the top 10. It's always better than me. I'm very annoyed. So I clicked on it to see what it was about, comic book movies. And I look at the icon and I'm like, God, that looks a lot like Maso. That looks a lot like Maso, who I knew because we used to always hang out at like comedy gigs.
Yeah, because I was always and remain. I mean, it's trickier now, but I'm a huge fan of live stand-up comedy, and I met everybody. Everybody I know through comedy. So yeah.
Then I looked up the credits. Had your name, and I'm not sure if I texted you or maybe I Facebook messaged you.
Might have done, yeah.
Very like almost accusing you of a crime. Just like, are you secretly a successful podcaster? Tell me.
Well, I mean, we kind of started it. We started it. James and myself. James is the other co-host, who obviously. We kind of started it in secret. We did it because we didn't want to be those people who were like, we created this podcast and nobody listened. And so but we just kept promoting it on Facebook or whatever. So we were like, we'll record 4 episodes, and I think we said if it gets 1,000 downloads in those 4 episodes, we'll keep doing it, and if it doesn't, we'll just quietly stop doing it and never mention it to anyone ever again. And I think the first month it got 1,050 downloads or something like that. And but it turned out years later that the hosting company inflated its download statistics by like a huge amount. Like it turned out like years later we're like, oh, they were just pumping up their metrics. So we probably got like 100 downloads. And they were just making stuff up. So, like, had we known, this never would have happened. But we pushed through regardless. But the secret bit sort of stuck around. I didn't want to be like, hey, everybody, can you please listen to my podcast? So I just never mentioned it. It seemed weird to be like, yeah, we've done 50 of these.
Yeah.
So it just stuck around, and then yeah, people found out eventually. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. That's right.
Dude, you are pummeling the morning code.
It's always sort of lunchtime somewhere, Steele, and that's what's happening here. It's always tradies lunchtime somewhere, Steele. I got one of these. I got a little banana flavored milk. I've got a pie in the fridge. It's gonna be great.
I'm killed for a pie, gotta tell you. Your story, if everyone went by your rules
Yes.
of your 4 podcasts, 1,000 downloads, there would be very few podcasts around there because it is a hard slog. Or
yes,
we need more hosting companies to lie.
Yes, and maybe they were doing it for us. Maybe they were like, oh, they've got nice faces. Well,
it's smart business.
Yeah,
because
no.
You want to make all these people making their podcasts feel like they're doing very successful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So they're probably just like, oh, toss everyone a couple of thousand.
Yeah, that's right.
And everyone's like, oh my God.
Yeah, we're killing it.
But you're jogging my memory. I do have to admit, I would download an episode and then check on the hosting thing.
Yeah, to see if it had popped up. Yeah. It refreshed. Yeah.
It never quite worked.
How? I mean, since the last time I've seen you physically in person, you are with child. How is that? How is that? Is it is he? How is lockdown treating him? Is he all right? And Jackie also.
It's a lot different here in LA. The lockdown.
Right.
There's not many locks getting put down.
Yeah, I guess COVID life in general, I sort of mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know because he's 2.5.
Yeah.
So he just thinks you wear a mask into the supermarket. That's what you do.
Yeah, right.
So that's his post-apocalyptic reality.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
What does Harry think Dad does? Like I feel I have the same question because my co-host James, he has kids, and every time I talk to him, I'm like, what is your kids will probably have a pretty distorted view of like what dads do, because most dads like they leave, they get on the train, they go to work, they do a regular job, but your job is entirely you have a business overseas, and you podcast in the house. And
he thinks I'm a chef. He thinks I'm just a cook. That's
great.
That's my role. Is
right.
It's to chef, and sometimes I have to use the fold out iPad. So
right.
I'm the director of entertainment activities.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
I'm a personal driver, a personal chef, a personal tucky wiper. So
yeah, of course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's got a very interesting, but he knows the Shaw logo.
Oh, right.
And we do a little character called Clippy, which is like an ode to the clip-on tourist koalas that get sold. We're just off Flinders Lane.
That's right, yeah.
And so you've got all the souvenir shops on.
Mm-hmm.
So paying homage to them, we put on this little cartoon clip-on teddy bear onto some of the logos, and he knows the koala. So whenever I'm wearing one of those T-shirts, he'll he'll poke it and go, Clippy, Clippy, Clippy. And I'm like, that's great branding. That's great branding.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
If only a few more tens of thousand kids saw that koala in the same light that they saw Mickey Mouse. Yeah,
that's right.
You can give me 2 black eyes, Maso.
That's a failure of the Australian Tourism Board. That's not your fault. They got the money, they could.
I'll add it to the list.
Yeah. Now, I listened to some other episodes. I listened to Dill's episode. I listened to Geraldine's episode.
Mm-hmm.
What is the origin of the Shure store? Why is it that I haven't heard you explain the origin. Why is it called Shure ? How'd you get into it? Because I know your Twitter bio, I think, used to read Shoelace Baron, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And I assume it's because you used to like import sneakers, but was it literally shoelaces? Did you start that small?
Well, I don't know about that, but about that wording. But oh my God, you're really flipping the script on me, Maso.
Yeah, that's right.
I just called up to hear about people spewing on the tram, man. Just
there. I mean, there's few these days. Because the lockdown and, we've had a curfew, we've had all kinds of stuff. There are fewer people on the trams, but a greater percentage of them are spewing. Just because that's the kind
that checks out. That's
because
the mental state of everyone.
Yeah, that's the mental state, and that's you get a larger percentage of colourful characters on the tram when most people don't have to go into the city. Like most people don't have to commute. The people that are just on the tram because they're people that are on the tram, they're spewing, they're yelling. I had a guy on the other day, and he was yelling about how he predicted this whole thing 2.5 years ago, and he knew, and they should have listened to him because he knew all about what was going on, and he invested in Bitcoin, and he's a Bitcoin millionaire. So don't tell him what's what, because he actually knows what's what, because he invested in Bitcoin.
So what you're saying is the spew per capita, has gone up on the trams due to
way
COVID.
up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's,
interesting.
It's a real treat for us, but although footy fans have gone way down because obviously we can't go to swings and roundabouts. It's a fine balance still.
Are they the scourge of the tram driver?
The footy fan. Yeah, look, I think anybody en masse, like anybody in a big mob, because people in a big mob are like, hey, the main guy's just like, hey, let's all cross the road, and then the group are like, well, of course, we're a big mob, we're invincible, and then they just you see like 300 people cross the road, and you're like, ooh,
yeah.
Hope I remember where my brakes are. Here they are. Okay, there we go. My training was not for nothing. I know where the brakes are. There we go.
Wow, a chilling reenactment. I know, just pulling into, because I drive down the lane to drop off boxes and stuff. And so it's like a shared lane with roads and pedestrians. And I'd constantly marvel that people in this modern day are not as afraid of cars as they used to be.
Yeah, right.
It's just, car, it was whatever. You'll work around me, sort of thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it just seems now, probably because we've all got sweet supercomputers in our hands.
Yeah,
it's sort of just like that's probably a Tesla. It'll stop. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I find, traditionally, but when you say to somebody, hey, I drive trams, people go, oh, ding ding. I would say these days you got to upgrade to a ding ding ding. I find the double ding no longer effective. It's people's brains have evolved or devolved, and they're like, ding ding, could be anything. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm not even going to look up. So now it's the triple ding.
Now, I've seen you drive. I've had the amazing happenstance of driving along Flinders Street and looking next to me, and I don't think I ever did it while listening to the podcast, which would just be an amazing double. But so you go along Flinders Street. Now, are you the type of driver that when you get to a station, you're like, Flinders Street Station, Melbourne Town Hall? Like, do you make the passenger aware of the places of interest in that vicinity? Oh,
what's interesting, I mean, that shows you might have been away for a while still, because most of the trams are automated now. A lot of the trams will just tell you.
A robot, Siri.
Yeah. There's a robot. There's a robot on board now that'll just tell you what your destination is. Yeah.
How do you feel about that as a driver that might be able to speak into a microphone?
Well, I still have that option, I guess. I could override the robot and just be like, folks, you're not going to believe it. We've made it to Flinders Street Station again. We've yet another successful arrival.
All right, what about the best of both worlds? Robot goes off.
Yes.
Flinders Street Station.
Uh-huh.
Flinders Street Station, Melbourne Town Hall, and then you crack in after it on the mic, Shaw Store.
Oh, okay. I see where this is headed. I get it.
Maybe throw out a coupon code, something like that.
Okay, yep. Yeah.
Maso said to pop in, whatever.
Okay.
But do you have like the artistic license
Go on, yes.
to help my business beyond appearing on this internet content?
I mean, I can give it a whirl. What's the worst that could happen, you know?
Hey, it's not as though there's as many passengers on the tram to complain.
That's true.
And percentage-wise, if they're spewing more, they're not going to they're not going to like let the the tram company know that they're right, because they want to like not make their presence felt. So
that's true.
I feel like the coast could be clear to trial it.
Okay, sure. Yeah. And I could be like, folks, 11 Manchester Lane, pop down there. It's currently closed, but that also means there's nobody in there to stop you. So just
online. Don't forget.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Oh, I thought you were trying to get me to amass an angry mob outside your shop.
Well, it's more not angry.
Bargain focused.
Cashed up.
There we go. Perfect.
In the need of some, a new hoodie, send down the unhooded masses.
Okay. I'll do my best.
But to answer your question from before,
Thank you.
Shoelace Baron. I used to have a shoelace brand called Juice.
Okay.
And we sold shoelaces in shops around Australia.
Wow.
And then this really weird thing happened, right?
Yes.
Remember Australian Idol? You probably do.
Yes.
Lee Harding was sort of like the Blink 182 style pop rocker out of Frankston.
He was like the emo goth guy. Yeah.
Yes.
He was like, yeah.
And he had all the stuff on, and he made it like just super big. Like it actually like it got so many stores. It was so weird the way just seeing something on it. I guess it's not that weird. Hey, millions of people saw your product.
That's good business sense right there. I don't understand why.
So
why
if Lee
millions of
Harding
people
is
want him?
planning a comeback and he needs a hoodie, get on down.
What defined the Juice shoelace? What made them better than a regular shoelace?
Well, they were many colors, different lengths, patterns.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can see some in the background here of the photo. They're in like action figure packets.
Ah, that's cool.
And then we'd import, different brands into the country. And in doing that, about 12 years ago, we started the shop, Shaw. And it's called Shaw because it's very hard to come up with a name that's not already taken.
Sure.
So we'd have conversations like, hey, you want to go to Borders? Sure. So it was just like this thing that we'd always say to each other. And then when it was sort of like worked in where someone came in and asked for a size of shoes. Do you know what I mean? If you got size 10 of these Air Maxes, sure. And then we go get them. That's how it works. That's how the store came to be. Yeah. But it's been just an arduous year and a half.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I can't imagine, but
you can imagine. You've got a good.
I can sort of. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I've been through some of it. Yeah.
How is the I know you normally take the month off of Comedy Festival to Comedy Festival Up, and actually be a passenger on the tram, which is
that's right. Yeah.
You got a sweet ticket, that free ride, sure.
You better believe it, Steele. You better believe it, yeah.
Nice. What form is it? Is it just like a Mikey card or a
looks
badge?
Looks like a Mikey. Has my face on it though. So,
How long's your beard?
it's like the goatee situation. It's the photo I had when I started, which is like a real Lee Harding situation. You know what I mean? Just a real fashion choice I made at the time, but maybe it hasn't aged that well. But I still stand by it.
Have you been pulled up on a
Yes.
tram or on public transport and you've had to show your driver's card?
Yes, I have. Mm-hmm.
And will do the undercover people or whatever they are, do they sort of go, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they give you one of those. Yeah, they give you the casual nod. Yeah, they're like, all right.
Nice.
All right, yeah.
It's like when in like a mobster movie and two people that are both deep undercover.
Yes.
Like talk, like real
Yeah,
quick.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
They're like, yeah, you're a maid guy too. Yeah, all right. We get you.
So how was that with it seemed like it was seating wise like back to normal for that time, but also sans big American, European, English acts to sort of take up the ticket sales.
Yeah, it was great, honestly. Like it was less the International Comedy Festival and more just the comedy festival, and it was what I think everybody learned as a group was that Australian cultural cringe is so strong that in years past audiences would see, the worst American act before they would see the best Australian act. And in years past you'd see people who are really, really great and really, really funny.
I'm desperate for you to give examples.
Luca Muller, great comedian. Jack Druce.
Luca Muller is a former employee of the shop.
Oh, how did that end?
Success.
Okay, great. That's good.
Yeah. He comes back when we need him at Christmas. So.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. But like, the people who are, I've always been like, oh, these guys are great. I got to get the word out. But
No. I didn't want you to name great Australian acts. I want you to name the worst of the Americans. That's what I was into.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to. You know what? I've never really loved anybody who. I reckon like how they do headliners, which is like it's like an American. Yeah, it's like an American lineup show. It's always like 4 people doing 15 minutes each or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's always been massively hit and miss for me. Like it's just what you think of when you think of like cliched American comedy of like they've got an attitude and they've got the cadence of doing comedy, but there's no actual jokes involved, kind of thing. I mean, there's been examples, but there's been examples of good people in that act. But I'm just like, people just go to that because they're American, and this year people had no choice, and they were forced into seeing Australian acts and filling out the audience in Australian acts. And I think people were like, oh yeah, this is good actually. It's good to support.
I know that's what the comedians thought.
Yeah, it's people like I see we have talented people here now, and I can see them as opposed to randos in American randos.
Accents.
Yeah, accents, exactly. Yeah.
Sweet accents. Well, that was the thing when I would like go back and forth quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I'd go just to watch it, like the Comedy Store or something. It was like, there was like amazing acts.
Yeah.
But then there was like, I don't know if these guys would be getting on in Melbourne.
Yeah, right.
At all. Like, but yeah, they just sort of fit a mold, kind of. But
they have a strut. They have a strut across the stage.
Yes.
And you sort of get into that energy, and then they just do a pretty average thing, and you're like,
a lot of that energy is give me a sitcom. Give me a sitcom.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite strange here because like the stakes are so big and can rapidly expand.
Yeah.
There's sort of like a different attitude of like less fun, more like ladder climbing.
Climbing that ladder. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. And
does that leave you? Have you, obviously you've got a lot going. You've got a bunch of podcasts, you've got a business. I mean, that's a lot of balls in the air. Have you also been like, I'm in California. I'm in Los Angeles. I should audition for something. I should
No,
get out there.
not like do stand up and stuff. It's just to go do that. You have to invest. Monday through to Thursday, hanging out at a bar.
Yeah.
And it just that wasn't the right use of time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Not when I got to make sure t-shirts are folded, all that good stuff.
Exactly. Yes, that's right.
Stuff. I got to ask you about this. We just got into the shop, the brand, the Hundreds. It's a California brand that we've done for ages, and they just did a collab with Kevin Smith.
I saw that. Yeah, you get yourself some movies, buy the Hundreds shirts, etc. Yeah, they're cool.
Yes. What's your Kevin Smith film of choice?
It's probably Clerks. Actually, yeah. I mean, it's Clerks. There's a lot of stuff of his that I do like, that I'm a big fan of. And he is fascinating as like a raconteur and a storyteller and that kind of stuff. But I think the some of his I'm very much like I like his old stuff better than his new stuff kind of guy. So,
well, a lot of his new stuff is just reruns of his old stuff.
I guess that is true. Yeah. He just did the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, I think. So
yeah. But it is amazing how he's reinvented himself and followed the way like media has expanded, and he's like could even rank up there with your little icon on the iTunes rankings. But I've seen him around a little bit here, and he's like such a nice guy and friendly guy to talk to and stuff. I'm not sure if you caught on like our Instagram or on the site, but they filmed a little scene from Clerks out the front of the Hundreds store to promote it. So they got Jay and Silent Bob back up.
Oh, right. Okay. That's great.
They filmed a little sketch of them sort of next to the line for people waiting to buy the Kevin Smith stuff.
Yeah, right.
And it was so strange because that shop is like 2 streets. Like I can almost see it from my house. So I'm driving home one morning, and the streets are just dead. It's like one of the most exciting places in the planet is become a sleepy little hideaway. But I see like a little camera crew set up. So and it's in the Hundreds, and I know like the guys that own it, Benny and Bobby. I see them, so I'm like, I'll pull over and say hello. I haven't seen anyone for like a year. Yeah. This is going to be awesome. So I walk down, and I'm about to walk in the shop to say hi, and they're like, and then I look around the other corner of the shop, and there's like a camera crew, and there's a scene from Clerks. There's Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, that's wild. That's great.
It was quite bizarre, but just remarkably needing of excitement, because it was just like, yes, for LA, it's back.
An LA thing is happening. Yeah, that's great.
I got to tell you, celebrity sightings way down during COVID. Way down.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable. They're all doing their own podcasts. I think they've all gone indoors, and they've started a YouTube channel. Their publicists have all recommended they start a YouTube channel and a podcast. So they're all indoors, Zooming with all their other celebrity friends. So
all doing reunions with Josh Gad or something.
Yeah.
We did a Tram inspired print. For those,
yes.
Oh, you can almost see it there.
This is the heartbeat. This is the it's a heart, and it's got a tram sort of zooming out of it. It's great design.
Yeah, it's based on like an old 3XY like sticker, like I love Melbourne with the tram.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Like that. I think anyone with parents of a certain age have that stuck on an old cupboard or fridge or cassette box or whatever. And because we did that during the big lockdown, because especially because I'm trapped from my hometown. I'm very sort of nostalgic and romanticize all that sort of, the dinging of the tram and all that good stuff. But after the Ks, the tracks that you have driven, the things that you've seen, the spews that you've heard, do you have a romantic view of Melbourne trams? Like, Melbourne trams are like the go-to to set up that we're in Melbourne. Like when Home and Away is doing their special week in Melbourne, after every ad break, there's a tram going past and ding, ding, ding. And you're probably watching it going, that's not the right ding from that class of tram.
Well, Steele, I mean, if I did have one criticism of your design, it's that a W class tram would absolutely not be doing the Route 1. That's the one thing that gets me. Like every time I'll see because I completely understand. I completely understand that impulse. But Melbourne romanticizes them, and it's true, they're great, and they're even the other countries have trams, and they're great as well. But Melbourne's a particularly special. But every time I see like a beautiful mural on like a building, somebody's pour their heart and soul into it, I'm like, as if you put a W class on the 86. So put 86 on it. These idiots, do your research. W class doesn't have the power to. The 86 is too long. The route's too long. It's not going to happen.
I like that, and it's like poetry, it rhymes, as George Lucas famously said.
Yes.
You're taking the mindset of a lot of people that enjoy the comic book movies that would listen to your show. Of like the continuity. You're a tram continuity.
Yeah.
But, hey, tell me this, though.
Go on.
In the 80s, from when that sticker that we were referencing was introduced by an AM radio station, what is that, a class 1A?
That's a W class, yeah.
A W class.
They're mostly city circles now, yeah.
But in the 80s, would have you seen a sweet W going up?
No, I think you probably would have seen a Z class. Probably a Z class on Route 1. Yeah. Yeah. You know how like this
lockdown just gets worse, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna reach out to people.
Yeah.
Get them on this
nothing but people cutting you down still. But no, but what I like, how like a doctor might watch a TV series about doctors, and they're like, that's a little, we wouldn't perform the surgery like that. We obviously wouldn't do this, whatever. And I'm just here like, no, I wouldn't use that tram. Nah. Wouldn't have that. We're all experts in our fields, aren't we?
Try seeing skateboarding featured.
Yeah, right.
In TV and movies. It's just, it's some sweet action. It's some sweet action.
Which police academy is it that has David Spade?
Police Academy 3, Citizens on Patrol, I believe.
Yeah.
And that was the Bones Brigade. So that was like Tony Hawk, Steve Caballero, Lance Mountain, Tommy Guerrero. So
like the real deal. Yeah.
The real deal.
Yeah.
And so that, like, I loved the Police Academy films when I was little.
Same.
It did take me a couple years to work out what the lady was doing in the lectern.
Sure, yeah.
Because I think when it came out and I saw it, what act was being performed by her was, I had not conceived of that as yet.
Right.
So
you thought maybe a tickle was happening, some sort of tickling situation.
I did think it was tickling. That's the only logical thing I could work out that it could be. But so in the third one, when they had the Bones Brigade in it, and at the end, they actually give them, like in the credits, they skate past the camera and it names everyone.
Yeah.
And to see, like, you couldn't even imagine it now, but to see Tony Hawk even in the mainstream at that, it was just like, oh my God. And actually, because David Spade became lifelong friends with Tony Hawk. on the set. And an additional fact, I'm just going to...
Please.
Chris Miller, a skateboarder that didn't skateboard for Pal Peralta, who were the Bones Brigade, he got a job as a stunt skater as well, because Tony Hawk was meant to portray David Spade, but Tony Hawk's like about 6'2", and David Spade is less than 6'2".
Yeah.
I'm not here with a measuring tape on Spade. But so Chris Miller. So when I was a kid, I was always like, why is Chris Miller there? I have to know. I have to decode what's going on. So you've really hit a trigger for me there with the Police Academy 3 reference. And who knew that Bobcat, he would turn out to be such an astute comedy genius after his
just
work.
like a profound filmmaker, yeah.
Hey, do you know a fellow tram driver called Mike Denovan?
I don't think so, no. No, how do you know Mike Denovan?
Well, he's a legendary, like Melbourne-based skateboarder. He was like a pro skater sort of in the late 90s, 2000s. And I haven't seen him for years. Yeah. But I have heard the rumors that he has joined your tracked ranks.
Wow, okay. Wow.
So
I'll have to look for a C-class tram doing some 720s on the on the Route 48.
He was into like big, actually it's pretty disturbing, big gaps and handrails and stuff. So if you see a tram sort of maybe up on those yellow pylon things.
Yeah. Just grinding the safety rail along Collins Street. I'll make sure to check to see if it's Mike.
Is it stressful?
It's stressful sometimes in the moment. Like if you're, going down a main road and somebody just jumps out and you slam on the brakes and you're like, whew, but then you finish your day and you're like, what was I stressed about? I can't, the thing. Like overall it's quite stress-free, especially lately because there's nobody outside or on the trams or what have you. But yeah, like from second to second, it can be quite, little shocks to the system. But it's pretty all right if you're following the rules and you're not. I'm also. I mean, the thing here is I'm also extremely slow. Like people, I don't know what people assume my driving technique is, but it's usually like 10 k's below the speed limit. I'm the grandma with a face below the steering wheel, just with a bunch of cars honking behind her. So that's my technique. So, it's pretty safe.
In the age of social media, you cannot risk any.
No,
you don't want to get your tram stuck underneath the Montague Bridge or anything like that.
That's true. Yeah, it's the embarrassment more than anything else. Yeah.
Such a big fan of the Montague Bridge. My mum will send me a Facebook message for each and every. I don't know if she's got a Google alert going or what. But she knows I love the Montague Bridge. It's love of the truck. And,
that's right. So for people who don't know, there's a Melbourne bridge, and it's very clearly marked. Your vehicle must be below this height in order to go under it. Do not risk this. It's like it's marked on the bridge. It's marked like way before the bridge, and I would hope that if you get a job at a trucking company, they say, hey, listen, don't go under the bridge because your truck is too big. But every normalcy is returned to Melbourne society when somebody gets a truck just wedged under there. Just
love it.
Is there a Los Angeles equivalent of the Montague Bridge? Is there like a funny accident black spot?
It's every street. Every street is a black spot.
Great.
It's defensive the entire time.
I bet, yeah.
Well, Maso, you're being upbeat about
Thank you.
And your tram driving during these lockdown hours, especially as from what I know, you get paid by the passenger. Is that right?
I mean, and it's been lean days still. I'm driving past random people on the street and I'm like, hey man, you wanna jump on this? You wanna take a quick couple of stops? You wanna go to Richmond train station? Come on, man.
The worst is when like four guys get on But they all flash their tram driver card.
Exactly, and it's like, come on, guys, you
No,
know,
just pay.
yeah, it's the festival pass of tram driving. It's like, oh come on. I mean, I'm happy to see bums on seats, but you know, you could have bought a ticket, man. Would really help me out.
Have you had someone tap on the little thing, which you shouldn't do, especially while the tram is moving, and then
Yes.
point to their phone to reveal that you are in their ears via the Weekly Planet?
Yeah, couple of times. Yeah. It's interesting,
Nice.
right? So it's always fascinating to see, and you would have the same experience, like you would see, like, you know, t-shirts and your merch and stuff like that, and being like, oh, that's, you know, it's wild to be like, oh, this little thing that I do in a spare room, you know, that people are actually out there listening to it, because I mean, it's weird, right?
Oh, all that stuff, even like for the shop. If I see someone out that I don't know that's wearing, like, you know, like one of the shop t-shirts.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's the best. Like someone that is into, you know, t-shirts and prints and streetwear and all that. They went into a shop. They had the choice of the world of, you know, much like you've got the world of listening, and they chose yours.
Yeah.
It's quite a thrill. It is quite a thrill.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple occasions. I've seen somebody with like the Shure t-shirt, like, you know, I've especially like the homage, the New Balance homage.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've seen it, and I've gone up to it. I'm like, Steele Saunders, and they're like, what? And I'm like, the brands are not as connected as I thought they were. I'm like, you know, Steele Saunders, and they're like, no, it's just a nice shirt. And I'm like, all right, bye.
I'm happy to have that on my tombstone. Just a nice shirt.
Yeah, it's a good shirt at a good price, man. That's how this happened.
That's all you can ask. That's a great segue. Shorestore.com.
It's a good shirt at a good price.
If they wanted to get hand driven by Nick Mason,
yes,
to the Shore Store,
that's right.
What line should they get on, and what way should they travel? Where's the best bet for the hunters out there? The Mason hunters.
They should get on either the 70 or the 75, and they should head into the city, and they should get off at about Flinders Street Station, I think.
Bang.
And then just hop, skip, and a jump to Manchester Lane.
Hey, you getting about in those bendy trams?
Not the newish bendy trams, but the 80s bendy trams. Yeah, like we're talking a B class Steele. That's my tram of choice. And by choice, I mean they're the ones we have at the depot, so I have to drive them.
Do you drive the same one each day? Is it like, oh, Nessie, good to be back?
No, but they all have. It's whatever you're assigned to that day. It's always a different one, but they all have. I wouldn't give them nicknames, but I mean, you always know. Oh, that's the one where the air conditioner doesn't work. So,
Old Conless.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Old Conless. Yeah. That's the one where you hit the brakes and the whole tram screams. You know, they have their fun little personalities, don't they?
Yes, beautiful.
You've been on a tram, you know.
Good times. And there is nothing like the assumed ability that your knowledge of gravity will be able to take in the impact of the starting or stopping tram without grabbing a pole.
Yes.
I am so up for I skateboarded all my life. I don't have to grab a pole and then.
That's right.
And I'm hugging a concession paying customer in a matter of seconds. Maso.
Yes, hello.
It has been an absolute treat.
It's been a delight to catch up, Steele. I'm good to see you're doing well, despite what happened here, the whole head situation, which, to be clear, I have seen and I have acknowledged.
Thank you.
No problem.
Excellent. Where can the good people of the internet track down the Weekly Planet podcast?
Pretty much anywhere you get podcasts. You just search for The Weekly Planet. It's on Spotify and Google Podcasts and iTunes, and there's a YouTube channel if you want to. If you like your podcasts, but just with like one static image, just watching that for 2 hours, YouTube's the place to go. You know. So it's all right. We're having a good time over there. But you can also go to, we've got like bonus podcasts at bigsandwich.co. If you wanna sign up there. We do all sorts of weird niche stuff, and we're slowly losing our minds over there. So we're having a good time.
Good to know. Good to know. But if you want to hear very insightful opinion, funny quips, recurring gags.
Oh my God, so many.
And of course that character that has never heard of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's right. Can you imagine such a thing, Steele? Can you imagine it?
On the Steele Wars podcast, I did a tribute character for the last year. And that's Guy, who has not heard of COVID as yet.
No, I love it. That's a beautiful image, actually. I like it.
So whenever anyone brings up that, like Star Wars Celebration was cancelled, I'm like, oh, why was it cancelled? Huh? What do you mean I can't lick your palms? What?
Well, what a beautiful innocent babe.
Yeah, I can't wait. Get back to just licking random stuff again.
Oh
like
my
the good
God.
old days.
Yeah,
hey? Dude, to bring it all around, I can't wait to get back to Melbourne and just lick me a W class.
That's right. Yeah.
But it won't be going up past the Arts Centre as depicted in my t-shirt. Damn it. The funny thing is I was going to send up the guys to take a photo with someone wearing the t-shirt, sort of skating past a tram going past.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I would have been like, just wait for one of the old ones to go past.
Yeah,
Come on. But you've saved the sanity of several employees. So
that's great.
See? It's very informative. Make sure that you're subscribed if you're enjoying the content on either YouTube. No static images here, buddy. We're moving.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you squint, you can see my messed up eye.
Yeah, moving and shaking, yeah.
You can take in Maso's beer on iTunes, all that good stuff, and heaps of product updates all the time on Instagram at The Shore Store. And
check out Steele Wars if you want to. What are you doing, Steele? You're the king of plugging. Plug all your podcasts. Listen to Steele Wars. It's great.
I'm just here. I just want people to like t-shirts. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. T-shirts are good. It's true.
I just want people to enjoy the t-shirt of the tram that impossibly is going past the Arts Centre, and there we go. I'm trying to think of like a all right, here we go.
All right,
Maso.
Yes,
we're going to gauge the content. I'm going to throw out a coupon code.
Okay.
That in the month of June, if you type in coupon code Maso,
MASO,
20% off, Maso.
Whoa! Oh my goodness!
Let's see. Let's see what
wild.
people are doing out there. Hey?
Yeah.
See if we can get some of those impossible t-shirts that, and then when they ride your tram, you can scoff at them.
Yeah, right.
And then when you bring me up, they'll know who I am.
Yes.
Is
that 20? What's that 20% off on, Steele?
Store wide, buddy.
Store wide. My goodness. Get yourself some Vans.
Get yourself some
Nikes. Oh my God.
Some hundreds, Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Get it all, please. Get it all in vast quantity.
You know what I am gonna
COVID-safe environment.
You know what I am gonna get, because it's on your site, and it's a design I really enjoy, but I haven't got to it. But I'm like, oh, I should definitely your Woomer design, your the Wu-Tang Clan cross Homer Simpson print design situation. It's very good.
Yeah,
it's one of my faves.
My friend Andy did that, and it is a delight. It is a delight. And as like legend has it, someone either had one in the front row or threw one on the stage at a Wu-Tang concert in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And someone did rap Wuma in. That's the legend. And I've always I'm never looking into it too deeply.
Yeah.
Because
so they threw it into a freestyle. They just threw it in there.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
So I don't want to pop the bubble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. If you were there, don't tell Steele. Don't tell Steele what happened one way or the other.
Yeah.
Unless it happened, in which case do.
There was an old saying don't die wondering. I'm happy to die wondering about that one. Bang.
All right.
Thanks, Maso.
Yep. Thank you very much. What a delight.